Here now, we've got Deke Digital co-founder and president Dave Maney, who's joining us. Dave, thanks for joining us. We got to talk about the share price. Susan brought it up of Disney, Netflix, Roku, all dropping after Apple announced details of its Apple TV Plus. In your opinion, do you think it's going to dominate this space?
No, I don't. I think that business has surprisingly few barriers to entry, and that in the long run, all the dollars are going to flow to the talent. So it is a very good time to be a Hollywood writer. It's a very good time to be an actor or somebody who can deliver a reliable product. There are not barriers to entry in that space as you used to see. Media economics used to flow from captive distribution, and in the streaming business, there isn't any of it. So it's not really a very good business. So it's bad news because as big, deep-pocketed entrants come in, it just means they're going to compete on price and on dollars out to artists. It's not good financial news for them. And by the way, as you watch Apple's stock price today, it's not good financial news for Apple either.
I don't know, though. You know, on these event rollout days, Apple stock never really spikes. It's when you start to see the rush when these things go for sale. And let's talk specifically about some of the hardware and some of the other services. They talked about Arcade, the gaming tab that they have. I personally like that they're bringing back Frogger, which is more of our era, I think. But give me a sense of what spiked your interest in all of the issues that were rolled out today by Tim Cook and company.
I'll tell you what spiked my interest. I have gone from being what I would call a begrudging admirer, not a big fan of the company's technology, but a huge fan of the way that of just them as a great American company, to increasingly thinking that we're seeing something of a corporate Potemkin village. If you watch that presentation today, and I got to watch most of it, it was a huge amount of flashy videos and very little product substance. So you're seeing these tiny incremental changes. It's like if I said to you guys, hey, when was the last time you remember a really exciting Microsoft product rollout? And the answer is, wow, it's been like a decade since they moved the needle with anything. That's what's starting to happen. Like, they've done the big innovations. And now they're trying to play around a very crowded, very competitive services field, and they're making little incremental changes that I don't think are going to move the needle with consumers. It appears to me that they're following a very long-standing cycle in the technology industry where what's happening to Apple is what happened to Microsoft. What happened to Microsoft is what happened to IBM before it. And I don't think that's not a place I'd want to be as an investor.
To Christina's point earlier, my wife is an icon on Wall Street, so I'm used to being in conversations with women who are smarter than me. So this show, I feel totally comfortable with all two very intelligent ladies out there. So it feels like home to me. Deke, I want to ask you a question about Apple. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with House of Cards, with Disney's Avenger as far as content creation. They can, though, buy something. They can buy something with all that money, like the NFL rights, like the EPL rights. It's what made ESPN Plus. They increased their subscriber base, 568,000 subscribers in 2 days when they had the UFC pay-per-view earlier this year, all for ESPN Plus. That, to me, is where Apple can move. As a full disclosure, I'm an Apple shareholder because of the services business. They have 1.3 billion people that have Apple devices around the world. Is this enough? And do you think this is where they will go to get into live sports?
Oh, I don't know about the live sports piece. I think they've definitely got the cash hoard to do anything they want to and to be a big player in it. But that's sort of not the point. The point is, if it's going to be competitive, it's not like they're competing against little guys. They're competing against Disney. They're competing against Netflix. And so the question becomes, what do they have to pay to be competitive? As you pointed out, they could buy rights, and yes, they could, but can they make money? It's a competitive business in a way that television, when it was just 3 networks, wasn't, because nothing's stopping the next entrant from rolling into that business either and bidding up the price for talent or for rights even further.
You know, Dave, I'm really excited about the fact that they've got 3 cameras, because if we haven't had enough of anything, it's people taking selfies. So I'm really glad that we're going to get a bunch more people taking selfies in slow-mo and everything. But back to the services piece, it seems to me that they haven't really penetrated what they could do with this huge ecosystem. I mean, they're basically falling back on things like streaming and gaming, but this ecosystem has so much more value to potential advertisers, to provide discounts, to do all these different things. Are you as disappointed as I am at their approach to the services business?
I think it feels like watching the newspaper industry fumble around and in effect lose the internet to all of the new entrants, right? It was the news business and everything that is the internet, Google and Craigslist and eBay, all of that was the newspaper industries for the taking, circa 2000, and they fumbled it away. You could argue, as you just very effectively did, that there is this, valuable ecosystem to be had, or maybe it was to be had, but Apple didn't make the play for it at the time. Could Apple be Netflix right now? Probably, but they aren't. And now they're coming from a sort of a weak sister third position. Certain advantages sitting underneath that they can play to, but would I bet on them to be a winner in that? On what basis? Where have they shown that they're the titan of services? I don't think they have.
Dave, can we talk handsets for a second? Because iPhone 11, the entry price, $699, says to me that Apple is feeling some pressure, some competition to bring in that lower priced handset into the marketplace, and that troubles me. What do you think of it?
I think that's right. There's an increasing level of commoditization of technology. It feels to me like we've reached the point with handsets that we were at with personal computers circa, maybe 2007 or something, where the next thing comes out and it's like, yeah, that's nice. But you know what? I think I'll wait till my hard drive dies before I do this. So on this one, I think I'll wait till my screen cracks. I'll wait till I drop it in the toilet. It's not like, oh my God, give me that third lens.
Okay, well, thank you, Dave Maney, the no longer begrudging admirer of Apple. Thanks for joining us.